The Trump campaign lashed out at ABC News yesterday after they reported that the judge, who was overseeing parts of the document case last week ruled that Evan Corcoran, the lawyer who drafted the sworn affidavit signed by Christina Bob, attesting to the fact that we have no more documents at Mar-a-Lago, everybody's looked, we couldn't find them. And the judge said, hold the hell up, Evan Corcoran. You got to go back to the special prosecutor, back to that grand jury. You have to answer these specific line item questions because you do not, in fact, have attorney-client privilege. The judge last week ruled that the DOJ had done a sufficient job in arguing that the crime-fraud exception to attorney-client privilege should, in fact, be applicable here, and therefore, Evan Corcoran, your testimony is not prohibited. You got to go back, because he had testified in January, you got to go back and give them more information. So that's where we are now. And of course, the big thing is that the judge basically said it's obvious Trump committed a crime. And it's that part that sent the Trump campaign over the edge, and they released this statement that reads like it was either dictated or typed out by Donald Trump himself. Here's what they said. Shame on fake news ABC for broadcasting illegally leaked false allegations from a never Trump, now former chief judge against the Trump legal team. This disinformation is on par with their breathless Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 and no collusion Mueller speculation, all of which were totally disproven. No, actually they weren't. These leaks are happening because there is no factual or legal basis or substance to any case against President Trump. The deranged Democrats and their comrades in the mainstream media are corrupting the legal process and weaponizing the justice system in order to manipulate public opinion because they are clearly losing the political battle. Actually, polls show they're not losing the political battle, and in fact, you at the moment are once again losing to Joe Biden in a hypothetical head-to-head matchup. So, no, Democrats are not losing. Biden's approval ratings going up, Republicans' approval ratings going down. Majority of people in this country, 62%, do believe that you have committed a crime. Not even necessarily in this particular instance, even though a majority of people do think you did break the law with the documents, which is what this case pertains to. So no matter what investigation, majority of people do think you broke the law. So in the court of public opinion, you've already been convicted. So let's just make sure all of that's out in the open. But what law is it that the DOJ was able to successfully show the judge we think he committed, which would force Evan Corcoran to go back and give more testimony? See, this one was tricky because at first I had assumed, like many others, that Donald Trump and Evan Corcoran just straight up lied to the federal government about not having any more documents. Because again, that document, the sworn document saying we have no more documents, was sent in June. The FBI went down there in August and found all the documents. So it was assumed, of course, that Corcoran was working hand in hand with Donald Trump. But the DOJ and the judge who ruled on this case seem to think that that's not what happened. They believe that Evan Corcoran was in fact tricked, lied to draft this document. So they don't think Evan Corcoran had intent to lie to the federal government. But lying to the federal government is, of course, a crime. But do you know what else is a crime? Again, I had to do a lot of research on this one. It is a crime. It is a federal crime to coerce, lie, or trick someone into lying to the federal government. So if Donald Trump talked to Evan Corcoran and said, hey, Ev, we got to send this letter to the DOJ saying we've returned all the documents. Evan Corcoran says, well, did you return all the documents? Oh, yeah, man. We totally returned all those documents. I had people looking for days. There's nothing left. It's all good. You can trust me. So you go tell them that we've given it all back. And Evan Corcoran, listening to his client, says, you got it, Chief. I'll get right on that. I'll draft the letter. Bob will sign it. We'll be good to go. So Trump, based on, my analysis of this, likely tricked illegally Evan Corcoran into drafting this document, lying to the federal government. So, for the record, this would be a new crime that Donald Trump could be charged with, on top of all of the other documents, crimes that he could be charged with. And the judge said that the DOJ did a good enough job to prove to her that this is what happened. You know, they haven't met the threshold, she thinks, to convince a jury yet, but they convinced her, and that's all that matters. Now Corcoran has to go back, and when he goes back and testifies again, this may be where they confirm that Donald Trump tricked him into lying to the government.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.